Hey guys, this is Elena. Welcome to the channel. I'm excited that you're here. If this is your first video, I help people move to Costa Rica. And today we're going to be talking about what are some of the best areas to live here in the country. And it's kind of if you ask this online, everyone's going to have a million different responses because there really is no best area to live in the country. There's no one best area. But the main point is, how can you find the best area that's the best fit for you? So that's the real question here. How do you find the best area that really fits you here in the country? And I've done other videos on this topic of what you should be looking out for in order to help you choose your area. But today we're going to pull out the map and we're going to look at some areas and I'm going to tell you, why people that we've worked with, why have some of these people moved to some of these areas. And just remember, like I said, I do help people move to Costa Rica. We have a great team. We assist with just everything A to Z in the entire relocation. We can work with you one-on-one. I have a little bit more hands-off programs, so kind of more of a do-it-yourself, but don't make too many, let's say, financial mistakes while doing it. We have retreats, which are amazing in-person experiences. We do these multiple times a year. And lastly, I came out with a new podcast, which I'm really excited about. Everything that I just mentioned is going to be in the links down below in the description. And one more thing, I do have a link down there for you to book a call if you have questions. I've always offered these complimentary calls for years. The only thing is that I ask from you is that if you're going to book a call, please be serious about either moving to Costa Rica or be serious about taking a scouting trip. If you're just trying to figure it out, if this is even a good idea for you, then I would say that you can look at the rest of this channel. I have so much information for free. There's a lot of other YouTube channels. There's a lot of free information out there that you can gather to get you to that point if you get there. Once you're to that point, then it's appropriate to talk to me because, again, I want to be respectful of both of our times here. And, again, there's so much information out there. So happy to have a call with you, but please be in a serious space about actually moving or taking a scouting trip. All right, now let's move into the content then. Number one, I want to start with the Central Valley. So you'll see a lot of things online about Central Valley. Actually, I think I did a whole webinar about all the different areas of Costa Rica. So this is not going to be as long as that webinar, but I'm just going to go over some very brief highlights. Also, in my online courses through our Relocate Now program, our Do-It-Yourself program, I literally have videos on every single region of Costa Rica where I outline a lot in very much detail. So if you need more details, then you have those resources that you can get a hold of. But for now, we're just going to do more of an overview. Again, so here is what I call the Central Valley. So, okay, if you're looking here, this is the area of San Jose. This is the city outside of the city. So that's what's going to be the Central Valley. So it's actually, so the city is where things are going to be more flat. And then everything around the city, all around here outside, this is going to be more mountain. So a lot of people like to settle up and around those mountains because it's really nice. It's a good place to be. Hopefully that helps. Okay, so popular places that will have people move in the Central Valley. One would be Grecia. Here's one. If you want to write some of these down, do some of your research on your own. Atenas is another big popular one. There's another one. So that's about 30 minutes from the international airport. Grecia is about the same, maybe a little bit more. San Ramon, that's another one where we've had people move. So that's going to be, again, these are like outside of San Jose. So these are more common over here. Sarchi is worth mentioning, Naranjo de Alajuela, Palmares. Okay, and then down here, some more popular areas that we've had have been Escazú. So maybe you've heard of that area before. We have Santa Ana. And we have Ciudad Colón over here. And of course, there's like little towns here kind of in between that you should be looking at. But let's say when I'm planning out a scouting trip, okay, the dogs are literally out there barking at monkeys. So I get monkeys in this bamboo back here behind my house, which is really awesome, but then it drives the dogs nuts. Got the dogs in order now. All right, so why do people like these areas? I mean, these would be the most popular, okay, not the only ones, but like I said, Grecia, Atenas, like that kind of area. Again, to like the west here of San Jose and a little bit southwest. It's not to say that people don't move over to these other areas. It's just more common that I have people move over to this other area because maybe they don't want to be so far from the beach. Maybe just the town's a little bit more rural over there. There is a bit, there is a foreigner population out there as well. So, Of course, people want to come, they want to integrate, and they want to, you know, be in Costa Rica and be with Costa Ricans, but they also might want to be able to interact with people who've also moved abroad just like them. So why do people like this area? A lot of people like it. Access to medical, access to everything. Really everything that the country has to offer is in this area. Also, the climate is very temperate, so like a way more cooler climate. In some of these areas, you don't even need AC. It's kind of like springtime all year round in some of these areas. It's really fantastic. So a lot of people love the climate, the access to medical, the access to all the other amenities, the easy access to the airport. So there is really a lot to like about this area. So that would be for the Central Valley. All right, another popular one that I often see, you know, we'll just come down here. So this is where I am. So I'm here in the Central Pacific. So some people move to the Central Pacific. So here you're gonna have more of your beach climate. It's about an hour and a half, you know, the town of Paco is about an hour and a half from the airport, hour and a half from the city, you know, less than 2 hours. So that's pretty nice. A lot of people like that, like me. I would say the roads in this area are primarily paved. There's decent amenities, decent access to good medical. So for being on the beach and outside of the city, I would say that this area definitely has an access to a lot. This is the most developed beach town. I actually did a tour of Paco video, so you can check that out if you want to see what it looks like. I live over here in Playa Hermosa. Estorrillos is an area that we've had people like, where they like being closer, but they want to be in a really quiet, more rural setting. So Estorrillos, Bajuco, that's a really nice area. Parita is more like Costa Ricans, but I do have some people who've moved to Parita as well. Manuel Antonio Capos, this is still kind of more Central Pacific, very touristy, beautiful white sand beach, really gorgeous. Great, for me, great place to go vacation. Just too much going on. And I've lived there before in the past. So this is the Central Pacific. A lot of people, again, they like it because it's not too far from the airport. I would say the roads are pretty decent. You have pretty decent access to amenities and to getting things, but you're also not far from San Jose in case you do need things. So that's why some people do choose to live in the Central Pacific. And I have found that the prices in Jaco, at least as of now, I would say the rental prices are pretty reasonable for being by a beach. And there's a lot of Costa Ricans who actually live in the town, whereas some beach towns, you're going to find it's too expensive for Costa Ricans to live in, which, you know, that's not a good thing at all. So Central Pacific. Next, I have a lot of people come down to the South Pacific, mostly here. I don't really have anyone come further than Ojochal. See this town right here? I don't really have many people go further south than that. I've had a few people come down here to Puerto Jimenez. That's pretty far down there. You're like really in the Osa Peninsula. You're real rural. If you start getting down here to these areas, you're getting really rural. I've had some people who've moved over to San Vito. I've done a video about that on my channel. But really, the main areas here would be, this is where I ended up when I first moved. You've got Dominical, you got Uvita, very popular. A lot of people move to Uvita because of the schools. You got Ojochal. And then if you like being up the mountains, the mountain range here comes very close to the coastline. We got Platanillo and Tinamaste up here, so you start going up the mountain. These are great climates up here, so a lot of people like living up there too. And then from here, from this point in Tinamaste, you're 30 minutes from San Isidro de General, which I call mini San Jose. You have access to a lot in this area. You have hospitals down here, you know, one in, I believe it's in Ciudad Cortez. You have another one up in Capos, which is 30 minutes from Dominical. You know, so here's Dominical. You got a public hospital here. You got a public one down here. You have a public and a private hospital in San Isidro. So overall access to medical is okay. I would say overall, you know, if you don't mind driving a farther distance to get into San Isidro to get to other amenities, you're fine. But if you do need to go to San Jose, you're going to be a lot further. So for me, living down there, it was a little bit tough sometimes because it was far. Like having to come in and out of the airport, you know, you're about 3.5, 4 hours, depending on where you're trying to go, maybe 4.5, it depends. So if you don't mind that, then that's fine. There's a regional airport in Capos too, so that's possible. I never liked those tiny flights. I don't trust them. But that would be the South Pacific. So we have a lot of people move down there. There's schools, so we get a lot of families. The nature is just beautiful. It's just a really gorgeous, like pure area, but I will say, I do know that it has been changing. There's been development, which is really sad. So I know that there are people doing a lot to try to protect the area as well from getting overdeveloped, because really it's like people move down there for all this beautiful magic, and now they're just going to end up overdeveloping it, and then they're going to kill all the magic that the area really had, which is kind of a bummer. So please, if you're going to move here, don't do stuff like that. I would say no one that I work with is a big developer coming down to develop and chop down rainforest. Thank goodness. I just kind of work with your average, everyday people. All right, so let's get going. So now we're going to come up. Okay, here's the, you know what, let's go to another area. So, okay, Central Valley, we talked about Central Valley, very common. Central Pacific, I have a lot of people move there. South Pacific, we have a lot of people move there. Guanacaste, we have a decent amount of people move here. We have some people who want to move here, but they get a little bit priced out because this is your hot, dry, oh, sorry, forgot to explain. Climate down here in South Pacific, rainforest, longer rainy season. Like think of it like jungle rainforest. As you start going towards the Central Pacific, you start hitting the transitionary forest. So it's more of a transition. Oops. And then if you come up here to Guanacaste, then you're in the dry forest. So now flat, hot, dry. More of a dry season. Things get real brown, a lot more flat. So the climates in Costa Rica, like Costa Rica is a really small country, but the climates range so much. It's crazy. So this is more of your hot, dry. You have a lot of your white sand beaches, your resorts. You got Tamarindo, Playa Conchal. We have some people who like to live in this area. Portorero, Playa Flamingo, Brasilito, because there's some really good schools over here for kids. So that's popular. If you like this area, but you're looking for something a little bit more rural, you might want to look into like Playa Avellanas, Junquial, these areas down here. It's definitely more rural. Doesn't have too much going on yet, but could in the future. And then we have Playa del Coco up here. So Playa del Coco, there's also an airport. So we have an airport, Liberia Airport, 30 minutes. So it takes you 30 minutes to get to the beach from that airport, which is pretty nice. Like I said, with San Jose, you're definitely more than 30 minutes out. Playa del Coco is nice. We've had some people move there as well. Maybe a little bit more of a retired or nearing retirement crowd, but we have had some families go there too. So it's not to say that there aren't some other young people around. Younger. Sorry, no offense. Like I don't have a lot of people in their 30s moving to Coco. Okay, so that's Guanacaste. Okay, now we're going to talk quickly about areas that I don't have people move to as commonly. So number one would be the Nicoya Peninsula. Well, I guess Nosara Samara. So I've had people move here. That's a nice area if you can afford it. Nice areas that you could look into. That'd be about 2 hours from the airport. Not too bad. Now, Nicoya Peninsula, I don't have too many people move down here because it's just kind of more far away. It's more removed, but it doesn't mean it's a beautiful place. If you like more further away, more removed, if you don't mind being further away from major medical or a lot of amenities and kind of being more out there. I mean, a lot of people, Santa Teresa blew up. I mean, this town is full of development pretty much at this point. A lot of people there. Montezuma, I've had some people move over to Montezuma. That's like a little bit more relaxed, more laid back. It's got some mountain and hills. So yeah, Nicoya Peninsula, I don't have as many people move over there, I think just due to the fact of how removed it is. And I would say the same here with the Caribbean. It's a little bit more removed, a lot more removed. It's kind of literally on the other side of the country, and then that's it. That's what's over there. A lot more removed. I don't have as many people move over here, but not to say that people don't. I have a few people who live over there. Northern Plains, so I have one person who moved to Monteverde. Again, it's really removed. It's pretty removed from a lot of things. And same with La Fortuna. I haven't had too many people go all the way up to La Fortuna. It's about 3 hours from San Jose. It's a pretty windy road. It may not be for everyone, but a lot of people visit La Fortuna. I mean, everyone wants to go see that volcano. That's actually where our retreats are held. Beautiful, beautiful place. As far as families, I haven't found any like real private schools up there, like too many. So that could be also a reason. And then the last area that we haven't had people move too much, again, is down here in this Osa Peninsula. Like I said, it's just really, you're getting really rural when you're down there. You're getting pretty rural. You're getting real far away from that airport. You're getting real far away from everything. So it's not for everyone. But not to say that those areas aren't great. And the people who move to those areas are people who want to be far away from everything, which is totally fine. So this was kind of just an overall summary. So we talked a little bit about the climate, a little bit about the distance to amenities that you could expect in these areas. So I guess I mentioned, Guanacaste, you have really good distance to amenities because you have the town of Liberia here, right by the airport. So you can get a lot there, kind of like, with the other beach people being close to San Jose and the Central Pacific get, but even being probably closer. So Yeah, I hope that this is helpful. Again, I don't think there is one best place to live here in the country, but I think that there is a best place for you, and that's what you're going to have to really take the time to decide and dig deep. And I have done other videos on this topic. Please go check them out. I'll put them down in the description below. About choosing your area and what things that you should be considering. And if you want to come down on a scouting trip, that's a great way to be exploring these things and be deciding, where do you want to be here in the country. So scouting trips are wonderful. And if you need help planning that, that's what we do. We do scouting trips. So, all right. So I'm going to wrap this up. I appreciate you guys listening. Hopefully you learned a little something. And I will see you guys in the next video. Remember to check out all the links below and book a call if you are serious about taking a scouting trip or your actual move. All right, thanks.